Oh, fuck me. Yeah, even now, who knows how long the stream will last? Because it's now even just like fucking up. Make sure have Nephos music going. Yeah, we'll see how long we can go. Rue. Welcome. I hope you is well. Oh boy. Yeah, we'll see how long this stream will last. We're staying up. But we'll run with it until we can't, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, the stream's even now it's struggling a little. Yeah, it's struggling a bit. So we may not even do Pokemon, honestly. We may just vibe and chill because I like to use the archives. But if the archives are super choppy, like, you know, I don't think it's worth it. We'll just set ourselves on just chatting for now. How are you doing, Rue? Yeah, we're dropped up back down to 100. Well, if anything, y'all will see me rip a dab. Which I haven't ripped a dab in forever. So to get this ready, I'm going to have to move this a little over because yeah, the guy easily upsold me. He was like, you can spend $7 on this and, you know, when you're done, throw it away. Or you can spend like the extra 13 and get a refillable one that has much more to it. Flame on! I'm kind of worried. I'm excited and worried. It's been so long since I ripped one. And pink, I know, right? Here's what I got. It's called That Badu. I forgot whose bud it is. I'm not familiar with the artist. It's not in my wheelhouse at all. But apparently she's really good. And this is supposed to be really good. So oh god, I'm nervous and excited. It's just been so long since I've ripped one. You know? So I'm going to try, you know, just a tiny amount like this. Because this should be all I need. I'm like kind of nervous. It's been so long since I've done this. Alright, we're going to heat the bottom of... So, here's how this works. I'll heat the bottom of this. Scoop this down into it. And then, essentially, just hit it. Oh boy. Streamer kills themselves live doing ripping dabs. You can already see the headline now. Let's see, let's turn it up a little bit more. Oh God. All right. That wasn't too bad of a rip. That's not too bad of a rip like I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I probably should have done it a little bit hotter. Because it's kind of like a little worried. Like, I think I still got some oil in there. Alright, let's do... Let's get it hot. That's pretty good. This is pretty good. But boy, I'm remembering how weird and kind of wild dabs are. Alrighty. Still see, I got some like resin oil still. That is tasty. That is very tasty. Honestly, while I have it out, I've had this like CBD rosin forever now. That I've been wanting to dab as well, so let's try this out too. This just looks like a live recording of me. This is just like a public record of me like getting into dabs again, basically. Oh, well, first let's grab our dab before I start doing that. Ow. This is like very stringy. It's gonna be very interesting. See how this goes. All right. Come on, get in there. Oh my god, it's like kind of too sticky. Alright, let's try to get it bigger. Okay, this may be a little too much, but oh well. It's a 2-to-1 CBD mix, so let's see how this goes. Fuck it, we ball. Oh. Come on. No. Okay. I get what people mean by the earthy taste of rosin now. People say like rosin has an earthy taste. I get it now. All right, turn that off. Ooh. That CBD one is pretty refreshing. Like, it feels very refreshing. But I get the earthy taste that, like, people talk about when they mention rosin. Like, it has, like, a more of a water, earth taste to it. Not bad at all. Like, it's just different. All right, we're going to do one more time with the Badu And then we're going to start with Pokemon. Our stream's been good. It's been fine. So I feel confident in streaming our attempts. Woo. Okay. Y'all, I think I'm ready to hunt for Bob Ross. I think I'm ready. I apologize. Whew. That was a huge hit. Like, yeah, I'm going to feel that. Oh boy. Ooh. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Also, by the way, I'm refunding every weed hit. Sorry, not sorry. I can't let my tolerance go through the fucking roof. Oh boy. All right. Are y'all ready to hunt? I kind of not. At least we know where he is. We know it's somewhere in this area. Oh. Rip. Ah. No Machino. Man, okay, I am feeling those rips now. I am feeling those rips now. Oof. I just started like zoning the fuck out there. That Pharaoh seed. Shark. Oh man, I owe you so many. Well, I'll do the workout. I'll do the workout. Feel that rip. Oh man, I'm feeling it. Welcome, Shark. I hope we can make your day better. Even just by a little bit. Oh man, I am ripped. I am slowly like succumbing to it. No, I feel. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's still just like the competence, right? Or like seriously, no word was talked about this, or like a bigger heads up. You know, I was just doing all that paperwork and prep for fun. Easy mistake. Yeah. You know, everyone does it. I do it all the time. Oh boy, I am. I will say also, like, I know Vile the other day saying like I look like I lost weight. Someone also came in and said I look like I lost weight. And Shark, you want to know how I know the squats are helping a lot? Also, you should run. BRB. Oh, cool, no worries. No worries at all. But yeah, no. Though a patient today mentioned I look like I lost weight, I was just like, okay. I think I did. I don't know. I haven't really tried. I just been more on like budgeting myself and try not to, you know, eat too much crappy food. I say as I look up and look at my tortas, tortas are more healthy than a lot of shit. Oh, fuck me. Don't need to catch a Shelmet. Oh! It's Bob Ross. Alright, let's go. God damn it. Really? Like, turn one, run away? And there you went. He showed up, then ran the fuck away. Hey, at least we know, like, It's gonna be in this general vicinity, right? We got it. And then, like, you know, once we capture him, like, everything else is just grinding, I'm pretty sure. Like, we just gotta grind up a lot. Come on, Bob, Ross, Bob, Ross, Ob, Boss, Rob. Don't need you, World P. You're cool. Just not needed here. Exactly. Come on. Got this, we got this, we got this. Bob Ross, Bob Ross. You know, you just gotta be, it's like, it's Bob Ross season. You know, you're hunting and hunting and hunting. Also, with this, I think I'm about to get like a Twitch payout, which thank you, first of all. And second, I think I'm going to use it by with, or RPG Maker with, get a physical copy of that. Even though I technically don't need it, I think it'd still be just cool to have a physical copy of that game. Like, I may not even, like, pop it in. Like, I may pop it in just to grab my tokens, but, like... yeah. You'll see me use the player more than the actual thing. Boop, 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 oop. Ross, Bob, Ross, Bob. Rob, Boss, Rob, Boss. Oh, it's that hit game Among Us. The enemy was Among Us all the time. Excuse my rudeness. Oh yeah. So if you really want to know how I know the squats have been working, it's because like I feel my ass shaking. Like no joke, I do feel my like it feels like my ass like jiggle a little. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What is this? I don't know what this is. What's going on back there? And like it's like, oh the shit, that's my ass. I don't have a Hank Hill ass anymore. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah. I just gotta get one. God damn, they're all over the place lately. No. No, you gave me you, Shark. Congratulations, you could take claim that you helped give me an ass. Give me an ass. Shark, I am fried. I'm going to have to like give me a moment. Ass. You know it, EK. Welcome. Hope all is well. That is a prolapse. You know it. One day, maybe. But I'm working on my... How is your tolerance so low? Shark, I just ripped dabs. Like, I literally have like a blowtorch on me. That's why I'm like, give me a moment. I literally just did some concentrates. So that's why I'm like, yeah, maybe I should just like not take a hit for a moment. I'm feeling pretty damn good. And also, how are you doing, EK? Welcome. We were just talking about how Shark gave me an ass. And now I feel my ass like wiggle. And it feels very weird because I never had that before. And I'm like, I guess this is what people with ass like just deal with on a day-to-day basis. The struggle. Oh. All right. So we've been trying to find this Pokemon. It only has a 1% chance of showing up. And we only have like a 6% chance of catching it. Alright, come on. Oh, you know it. Yeah. Like, the fact that it already has a chance, like, the fact that we already ran into it once and it left on the first turn. Like, oh. Alright. Go! Okay. We're 3 in. 3 balls in. 3 balls deep. Go! Okay, 4 balls deep. And I'm not doing... I'm kind of tempted to. Maybe after this one, like if we don't catch it this time, next time I'll throw a rock at it. Oh, you want me? Oh, fine. All right. We know who blamed this on. It's all good. Nah. It was already it was already gonna like have a good chance of running at that point. Yeah, if I didn't listen to EK, I would have caught it. Turned a 1% into a 0%. You know, just you know, giving it that extra hard mode. You're right. I didn't have to. You know, I just succumbed to chat peer pressure. You know, as a streamer, I should have held myself to a higher standard. I apologize. Yeah, I don't know any better. That's why I have Rue and Shark holding my hand this entire playthrough. Do you blame a 13-year-old for trying cigarettes for the first time? I don't know, Shark. You're asking the real deep questions there. I think, when did I try cigarettes? I must have been like already over 18. Like I wasn't like fond of them growing up because of just how I was around it. Now, I am old enough. I am old enough that I do remember the candy cigarettes. Does anybody remember those? Like, I know it was like right before, like I got them, or I saw them before, like the big crackdown on them. But I remember being in like first grade or kindergarten and being like, having like some of those. I like to point out that your guides said nothing while I tricked you into making bad decisions. Well, you know, sometimes they just like, you know, they just like having, you know, they're not holding my hands. They're sometimes just like making sure I don't drown, I guess. It's maybe the better way. Like, you know, I'm like on the verge of drowning and then I wake up and I'm alive and just like, oh, how'd that happen? And then I move on. This candy cigarettes taste like ass. They did. Yeah, Rue did her part. She's already ate them all. Exactly, yeah, the cards. You know it. I know it. Karablas. When was my first? I'm pretty sure I was like, I must have been 18, and yeah, I must have been 18 at the very least, honestly. And it was probably when I was drinking. Like, I was like, and of course in America to drink, you have to be like 21. But like, I remember, I was actually talking about this at work today. There was a club in Huntington, notorious for letting like underage people in and drink. And that's where me and my degenerate friends went and hanged out. Because, yeah, we were like 18, 19, wanting to drink. And I'm pretty sure that place is when I had my first cigarette. That age period. Just like smoking whenever drunk as fuck. funny enough, I haven't had a cigarette in like 3 years since I've stopped drinking as well. Go figure how that also works. Gosh, this prolapse anus. We should talk about World Pete. World Pete is, don't you make fun of the best boy. Just because he looks like a blown out boo hole doesn't mean he's going to not grow up to be a very powerful Mon. Now you just, oh god, imagine that. Funny enough, Shark, I do have CBD dabs on me. Just because, like, they were cheap and, like, we were going to throw them away if we didn't buy them. And we bought them all for $1, so I guess I could just rip those CBD ones. The next Bouffalant. Next Bouffalant. We'll go for it. My mom would give me one when I'd help her shell peas in the backyard to keep buds away from us. Aww. I can't believe you threw a rock at that Bouffalant. That was a terrible decision. Look, you know, I just live by the edge of my seat. And the odds are for us anyways. Your fraternity had one where you smoked cigarettes nonstop for like 4 hours. What was the fucking wrong with them? Man, you know what would be great for all these freshmen? What if we got them addicted to tar and nicotine? Like, and that'll show unity and camaraderie. She was pissed when you actually started smoking cigarettes, and it's like, what do you think would happen? The idea was that they had to recreate another guy's room, but outside. So one was holding up the poster, one was holding up the mini fridge. Another was in the bed and smoking cigs until he got back from class. Oh, hell yeah. No, that's pretty cool, actually. Oh, happy to hear that. Let's see. But, God, I still don't understand, though, but all right, whatever helps build camaraderie and friendship. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you mean now. I see what you mean. I was like, I knew they had like badges next to names. knock feature where you just force their camera. Wait. You force people? Wait, it just forces you into their stream, or like you can just like. Oh, I guess that's what like, the idea of a knocking is, like knock knock. Yeah, that is weird. Just like, what's up? We're doing this now. Whether you like it or not, motherfucker. I can already see how that's going to get abused and used. If I was live right now, I could hit knock on your stream and it's like, hey, we're streaming right now. Yeah, I can already see how that's going to be weird and like abused in different ways. Honestly, I just don't like the update. Well, I mean, I haven't liked the last couple updates. Like, I fucking hate the mobile app. I hate all mobile apps now, just because like instead of like letting me see what I want to see, which is the people I follow, now they just are shoving like other people in my face. And it's like, this just makes me not want to use the app ever. Blown out butthole. Come on, where are you? Where are you? Hey, there's the famous Among Us game. My name is Among Us, and I'm carrying the wheel. I have a big chungus. I hope you're thrilled. Oh, won't you come chung with me with some melody? Actually, now I think about it, I haven't listened to that Weezer song in forever. My work puts on a lot of like we do, like Weezer comes on, but it's never like My Name is Jonas. Or the world's greatest song. Or even Pork and Beans. I don't even hear Pork and Beans too often in like a lot of the random playlists. I'm going to tell you in advance, NDK. If you find Buffalo again, I will tell you to throw a rock. Please don't fail for peer pressure. I don't know. I'm pretty susceptible to peer pressure. This is why I did dabs today. Just because I was like, well, I made $10 in tips. Should I buy this batter and try it? God damn it. Everyone's just like, get ripped. Okay, next Buffalo I'll rip. Give me. This is not what I want. Indicate on turn 1 from next Buffalo UC. first turn. No other chance needed. I only need 1 Pokeball. Get rid of the 30 others. 20. Get rid of the 20 other Pokeballs. I only just need 1. 1 Buffalo, 1 ball. Oh. That's a power move to run away first. Yeah. Exactly. Like, I don't even need any Pokeballs. I'll just run away. I don't need you. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We don't even want it anyways. You're right, yeah, you know, I don't need it for the Pokédex, whatever. It's not like I have every other Mon almost caught. And all we need to do is just train. Like, all we have to do after catching this one Mon is just grind. Like, literally that's it after catching this one. Yeah, we've been calling him Bob Ross. Or Rob Boss. Okay. 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 Oh, okay. Indicator. Just run away. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's grab some dabs. In case you've never seen this before, yeah, I have a little rig now. Okay. Okay. Gotta do 3 dab hits now, huh? Alright. Ball number 1. Two more. God! Man, like, all that time just to, like... yeah, hold down A and B at the same time. Control F1 after I catch. Just like restart everything. Oh my god, I just can't believe, like, we literally just get, like, one shot at it. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's the thing. That's why I wasn't, like, saying no to EK's idea of throwing a rock at it, because, like, we get the same amount of, like, you know, chance. Come on. Oh. Just gotta grind. Just gotta keep my head in the game. Keep my eye on the prize. We gotta get that raw boss. We gotta get that sauce Bob. Okay, Troy Bolton. Yeah, gotta make sure the raws is all the balls. Hey, Critically Puff, welcome. You know, I'm just saying, King Quizzin. Welcome, Critically Puff, also. We are still trying to capture, oh my god, this damn buffalo. God. I hope your day is going well. That Gen 1 World Beat is my sleep paralysis demon. What are you talking? What do you mean? What do you mean? The blown out anus? What do you mean? What's so wrong? What's so wrong about the blown out anus? At least, look, I'll take World Pete Sprite over like Cloister. Look, there's some pretty funky designs in this ROM hack. Like, we're seeing some of the great ones. We're seeing some of the great ones, honestly. Like, Karablastic's good. There's a Poniard that it looks fucking awful. This Mienfoo looks pretty decent. You know? They did our boy Excadrill terrible. Oh my god, yeah. EK, I know you're making fun of Drillbur, but Excadrill, holy shit. Where's Excadrill? Well, okay, first let me show off my favorite one. Fucking Gurdor is pretty good too. Oh, you know, Victini. Just how you remember Victini. But where is the Excadrill? Because Excadrill's really fucking cursed. I'm just enthralled that they exist. I absolutely love that Victini unironically. I just love the peace sign it just does. It's just like so genuine. It's just like, honestly, this ROM hack's so cool. And the best part is they put out a sequel ROM hack called Kalos Crystal. So like that's exactly what you think it is. Johto, Gen 6, and Gen 5. God, where's our Drillbur? Where'd Drill go, Burr? Oh, you want to see Darmanian? Okay, God. Okay, well, first, let me... Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, Excadrill. Poor Excadrill here. Volcarona actually was done good. Girder here. Did they draw this from memory? Maybe. Like, I mean, they try to keep it in the weird Gen 1 style. So we just get like, oh no, these two are the best. So let's actually start with throw. All right, you know, he doesn't look bad. All right, this guy doesn't look bad at all. Not, you know, not bad, right? You know? Someone gave up along the way. Swag just looks. You're just some regular show, you know, just just chilling, vibing. Oh god, what was the other one? The ice creams are good. Oh yeah, we'll start from the first, you know, Vanilla Light, you know, okay looking, you know, nothing crazy. Vanilla Lish, you know, alrighty, you know, ice cream cone, bigger. What the fuck is a cone? like honestly, like just playing this ROM hack for the sprites is amazing in itself. Oh boy. God, who is oh, Pawnyard. Yeah, let's all right. Now this is someone cosplaying as Pawnyard. Or Pawnyard. Like they just bought their costume at Spear Halloween. And you were saying, looking at that, and dark. Okay, cool. Yeah, like at the not even Spirit. You get at like the like. Oh wait, no. This is probably my favorite sprite in the whole game. This is my favorite sprite in the whole fucking game, honestly. Just look how zooted this motherfucker is. I just love how zooted he is, and then he just suddenly becomes swole. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, we got. Oh yeah. Oh, beautiful. Just look how just mwah. You just gotta love it. And here's your little monkey guy. They honestly didn't do him bad, but look at this motherfucker right here. Oh my god, it's Crocodile is pretty cool. They honestly did this sprite so good. Yeah, let's check out. Okay, that's just the same. I know, right? Like some of them, it seems like they just were able to do it 1-to-1, and then others are like, fuck it. Ferrothorn. I think got the execute sprite. Like it's just wild, the levels of like oh yeah. What are we looking at? What are we looking at here? Oh. I don't know what you're owing about. Like, it looks good to me. Oh. Oh, wait, that bravery. All those bravery birds. Oh, here's their Volcarona. Honestly, they did Volcarona very well. I think they took the venom of... Like, Volcarona looks pretty damn good. Hydrogen looks pretty good. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, Dion. That's cute. Mandy Buzz. Like, I think they took the Moltres sprite. And, like, fucked around that. Yeah, like, honestly, like, it's diapered. It's like they tried. Some of these look like, some of these just fail. Rivalry is just fucking drunk. Just drunk. That's the only way to describe it. Oh, the weird foot. Oh my god, I know who. I don't want to spoil. I know who it is. I don't want to spoil who. Oh, not you. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh my god, it's just mwah. Look at that foot. Look at that foot. Long boy. Yeah, then we also have where's Purloin? Yeah, and then we have Titty Cat. Alrighty, no worries. No worries. It was good to show off some of these sprites. we haven't like, I know everyone hasn't seen like this whole thing. So it's just always fun to go and just show this stuff off. Have a good lurk. Thank you for lurking and have a wonderful time and play Lethal. This fills you with it. I'm glad to show you this and just let more people know that this exists, because this is such a cool ROM hack. And the Kalos Crystal one's apparently just even bigger. So I'm super excited to play that. And we're going to be doing that, and for that playthrough, we're going to have to do like a dark type playthrough in order to get all the achievements. So prepare for that. Just having to choose from a bunch of different dark mons. Should be fun. Honestly, I'll also keep my team from being super surreal. Or having like train up so many different mons. Like I did for this playthrough. Come on. Yep. Alrighty. Come on now. Come on now. Just getting our little butthole Pokemon. No butthole right now. I just need our Bob Ross. Blast. No one cares. All right, let's go. Let's go. Three, four, one. Ah. I need Bob Ross. I need Bob Ross's hair. And my Pokédex, please. No. All right, next time we see Bob Ross, I'll take a hit, Shark. Shark just wants me just like my tolerance dumb high. 4 dab hits. Oh my god, I don't want that Pokemon. I want Bob Ross. Come on. Come on. We need the buffalo. I want the buffalo. I need your buffalo. Tonight. Oh my god. I need the Ross. I need the Ross. We're just not even getting encounters. Alrighty, Ruth. Thank you so much for vibing and hanging with us tonight. Thank you for the vibes and good lucks. There's like a little bug flying around. I'm just... Yep, got it. Cool. Alrighty. Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh god. Shouldn't have done that. We're getting a Mungus. Durant. Come on, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this. All right, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We got this, we got this, we got this. Imagine. No, not imagine. Manifest. We're going to manifest this Bob Ross here. We're going to manifest it, and we're going to manifest it into our Pokeball. We're going to manifest it in front of us and manifest it into the Pokeball. And then we're going to be able to fucking finish the rest of the achievements in this game. Oh. Come on. We got this. We got this. We've been going after like a bunch of different achievements lately. I've been getting good at Pokemon Pinball. Like I went on another like streak of like a billion plus score. But I still am terrible at like traveling. So like I still haven't gone to the Indigo Plateau yet. Even though I've like completed like over half the Pokédex. I still haven't fucking been to the end game yet. Or like another part of the game, I guess. Come on. Come on. Imagine. No, manifest. We're gonna manifest this buffalo. We're gonna manifest this buffalo. Come on, buffalo, 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 buffalo. I don't understand. How come buffalo doesn't work like other words do? Like, everyone's talking about Beetlejuice and how they say Beetlejuice, they get Beetlejuice. How come I can't get Bouffalant, Bouffalant, Bouffalant? Ugh. Come on. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. God damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna be so mad if we don't even get one in this like session. Like so far, at least like we've ran into it once in every like session, but we haven't ran into it this time. Rigged. It's all rigged. It's all rigged against me. Vile. And how you're good. I hope you is well. We're just trying to capture Bob Ross. Or Ross. God damn it. Oh. Who has a 1% chance of showing up in this area in this ROM hack. So we are just running back around. And then because this is a Safari Zone, we only have a what is it? 6% chance trying to catch it without throwing a rock or anything. Hope your Friday's been treating you well. Yeah, Rue just hit the hay. But we still got a lot of cool people hanging and vibing and lurking. We're just on the hunt for this damn buffalo. The reason we need this buffalo is to complete the Pokédex. And honestly, this is like one of the last Pokemon I need to capture in the wild. And it has the hardest encounter rate. With also the hardest, like, capture conditions. Just because of, like, where it is and what we need to do in here. Good thing Shark helped me with this strat. Come on. But yeah, we have like a 1% chance of running into it here. And then once we run into it, we have to... we only have like a 6% chance of capturing it with a Pokeball. And then, I don't know, like over 50% chance of like causing it to run away if we throw a rock at it. I actually don't know like what our percentage is if we throw a rock. But probably not throwing a rock. Oh god. Most 50-50 Friday night you've had in a while. I feel. No, I get that. Hey, sometimes those are the best, you know, just chill. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. I know, yeah, I know I kind of mentioned it in the, in my thing, but yeah, this is my last stream from this apartment. Next week I'll be moving into a new place with a bunch of new cool things and hopefully a better set. Like, oh, my stream should be, I'm going to try to get my stream a little bit more cooler. Especially since it'll be like, I'll be having the stream room separate from a bedroom. Which it technically is now, but like, it's like just a kind of a weird like open U shape like layout in my place. But I'm just excited to have like a bigger place. Oh yeah, you know it. That's how did you know? How did you know I'm taking the new that's the new Twitch meta and I'm taking it there? Come on. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad to be moving out. The new place is bigger. I'll have a room for streaming. I'll be able to like do cooler lights and like, I don't know, hopefully show off more things. And I don't know, it'll be cool. It'll be super cool. I'm excited to get that all set up and return and show off the new place, and hopefully the colors are cool and just a whole new era. And I don't know, I'll be updating my Streamlabs stuff, so like get my, I need to update my like overlays and whatnot. Alrighty, EK, thank you for so much for vibing. Much appreciated, EK. Going to give you a quick shout out. Thank you so much for coming on by. If you don't know EK Standing, they're a variety streamer. They play a bunch of different things. They play a lot of Zelda randomizers, mainly Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. They do the Barbie challenge on The Sims 4, and a bunch of other cool things like Nancy Drew, the mortuary assistant, and much more. So be sure to give them a follow. All right. Oh, you good. No worries. Thank you so much. I'm glad your ramen is cooked. Oh, you're talking about the internet. You're good. But yeah, so this is just what we've been doing. That and Shark just make me do dabs, which I'm just like, I'm just waiting to the buffalo before we do another dab. Come on, 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 come on. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Ah. Or manifest this goddamn buffalo. 5 dabs. 5 dabs behind. God damn it. Yeah, I'm going to do 6. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm going to need to do a shit ton of dabs with how dumb this is. Oh my god. Up, down, down, left, up, down, left, up, down, left, up, down, left. Oh, these ants. These puny ants. Up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, left. Oh my god, that's the second time we've done that and not even ran into it once. I really want to run into it. I just... Because honestly, I'm tired too, and these dab rips aren't helping. Oh, come on. Butthole. The butthole mon. Butthole mon. Gotta butt them all. It's just you and me. I know it's my butt destiny. Butthole mon. Oh, you're my butthole. And a butthole we will defend. Sir? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm going crazy. You're just probably in the background, and then you just start hearing all that. So yeah, that's the point we're at. I'm just singing about Butthole Mon. Oh my god. Oh. God. It just kills me whenever we just get, like, literally everything else. What? Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Where's that Bob Ross? Yeah, no. Disconnected for playing RPG Makers way too much. No, I get it. I'm like kind of barely lucky. Like, I have the patience for this, but oh boy. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's the greatest. Just sitting in this area and just like try and find this fucking Pokemon. Oh my god. It's like even just like getting a damn encounter just feels like pulling teeth. Come on. I'm afraid of like I'm just gonna get so habit of just like skipping forward that I'm going to skip past whatever Mon we're looking for. I forgot its name already. Bob Ross. I already forgot Bouffalant. I was like, oh man, what Pokemon are we even here for? King Grezon. Oh boy. Oh. Oops. There we go. Come on. I'm gonna be so mad if we don't even like run into one in this encounter like situation. I'm gonna be so mad. You never heard of Astrobot? Yeah, I mean Astrobot I think was a PlayStation VR thing for a while. Oh, you played it. Yeah, I've heard it's a really cool game. But like, yeah, Astrobot I think it was around during the PS4 VR. I think that was its first introduction, and it was like a super really like fun game there. Now it's no God, what's Knack? It's no Knack or Knack 2. You know, everyone's favorite Knack. Was there a Knack 2 or am I just memeing? I could have sworn like there was a Knack 2. Oh my god. Yeah, this is like it was yesterday. Like every time I didn't get the encounter, it's like my soul dies a little bit. Especially now that we've like on the 3rd session. Still haven't ran into it once. Okay. One more session. Oh. I'm trying to think of what other... Do you think they'll ever make a sequel to the 1986 or 1886? That weird like werewolf steampunk game that was only like 3 hours long. And like it looked cool and had a really cool concept, but it was just like super fucking short. You know, some people looked at that as like one of Sony's big failures. But after that Concord game, holy shit. Fucking Sony giving out refunds because just not enough people are playing it. They're probably going to just try to take that into the free-to-play route. If I had to assume. Oh, you haven't? Oh, wow. Yeah, no, like it's a cool series. Like everything I've read and like heard about, you'll enjoy it. Like it's a like that team seems very creative and it's been on a very good creative streak for a long time now. So I'm happy to hear that like the new game, everyone just is loving it. Oh man, I need more water. All right. And don't worry, Shark. We'll do a big dab hit for you. I'm not doing 7 dab hits, Shark. I love ya, but not that much. Concourse disaster and Astro's successful launch within the span of the same week is fucking insane. It is, but I think honestly, I think it's also consumers just putting where their money, where their mouth, or putting their money where their mouth is. They're like, I'm sick of these gas services. I'm so sick of like every game wanting to be a forever game. And trying to like keep me tied to that one game. Like, I'm glad people didn't buy into Concord. Well, I say gas, but like I think Concord was just a shooter, a hero shooter, right? And it was a $40 hero shooter, which is fucking insane in 2024 that you're charging money for your multiplayer only game. Like, I'm sorry, but those times have long gone. Like, Lawbreakers tried it. Like, I can't name you a successful studio who, like, in that space that does that. Charge for their game. Like, so many studios have tried that. Like, Ninja Theory tried it with one of their online multiplayer games. The Calling would too. The Calling would get weird and have like a fucking like arcade coin system. What else? There's like there's so much ton of dumb shit when it comes to that. Oh, I feel like that particular area of video gaming. I was just like showing a coworker about the Gotham Imposters video game by Monolith Productions. Like, how many people remember that game? And that was like a Team like Fortress 2-esque game that was like around like the Batman universe. What a weird game. Made by the same people who made the fucking Matrix Online and Fear. What a wild studio that is. Or at least, like, probably was. Just having such a wild, like, different, like, fingers and different pies. Like, first-person shooters, MMOs, other types of I know they did like quite a bit of different things. Oh shit, I didn't want one. You saw an ad for GTA 5. So passe, let that shit go, Rockstar. 11 years, I don't know. I mean, that game has made literal billions of dollars. Like, you may, like, whatever we may say, obviously we're not playing it, whatever. But, like, that game has made over a billion, like billions of dollars. It's honestly, like, ridiculous of how much money GTA 5 has made. And a lot of it is from the GTA Online. Like, boy, I remember when it first launched and it was a shit show. Like I it's kind of wild that like Rockstar not only like pulled that out of the brink of like fucking brokenness, but like made it into a cash cow. Like they figured out how to like get people involved in like doing shit in that world and yada yada yada. It's still amazing. Like again, like I don't give a shit about it really. Like but like it's still a juggernaut of a title. I was just like thinking, or that got me into a whole other thing of like, apparently like they were trying to like Rockstar's offer to license songs out for GTA 6 are shit. like one artist was saying like between like all the like the three people that worked on the song, like it would be $1,000 each. And it's like, bruh, like, yeah, wait a second, how is like the biggest fucking game in the world going to, or a big like how's like a billion, like a game that made like over like $8 billion, like going to sit there and say we can only give you this much? It's like, nah, open up that, nah. Yeah, no, I couldn't do jack shit. Like it was when it launched a month after the game launched, which I swear was a deliberate tactic to just like stray reviews away from the online aspect and how fucked it was. Like it was so janky. Like, you know, like everyone was trying to load into the Lamar, you know, tutorial. You know, you gotta go through the car race in the beginning, and like all that felt so janky. And then you just kind of just walked around. Like there's just nothing to do. Like they gave you the world and all people ended up doing was just like going around and shooting randos. But yeah, they turned that game around, like, or a lot of the online portion, whether we like it or not, which, you know, a lot of us, I mean, not enough of us apparently mind. But, you know, it's why we never got like the Ballad of Gay Tony or any like expansion like that. Which, man, I need to go revisit 4. I feel like I appreciate GTA 4 now a lot more now. Honestly, GTA 4's online, as basic as it was, like it did the job, you know? It was just a free Okay. 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 It's Buffalo time. Oh no, my internet's dying. Okay, okay. Let's do a dab hit and then we do the buffalo. Oh man, Red Dead Online. I totally forgot about that. People, honestly, like I'm not like. Anytime I talk about Red Dead, everyone like I feel like someone mentions the poker in Red Dead and how like great it was. Alrighty, that's all right. I'm going to just move my mic around for a second and get this going. All right. Flame on. Yeah, just 7 more dabs. And I got this. All right. All right. All right. That's attempt 1. No! Well. I think I am a scrub. Red Dead Online and Pokemon Go have been the top 2 most major fumbles in recent memory. You know, you bring up those 2, but I raise you Halo Infinite. I think Halo Infinite is one of the bigger fumbles. in the last, like they've been doing a lot of work to get it to where it needs to be, but still, like, how the fuck do you fuck up Halo to the point no one cares about it now? Kingdom Hearts Go, going around collecting all the keyblades, you know, unlocking all the doors. Yeah, you even forgot that it was like a fuck up, right? Like, you forgot it even relaunched last year. Yeah, just like Sora and Fortnite. Yeah, we'll get that too. Oh man. Okay, we're going to do one more hit. No. That's terrible. I like, that's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, I played up to 4. Yeah, I played 4 and I was like, I didn't even finish 4. I was just kind of like, I have better things to do with my time than play 4. That's what it felt like. Yeah. Like, maybe Reach was the last hurrah, but like, maybe Reach was kind of a little bit eh. It won't be terrible when I'm running Killing Heartless on the go. Shark, you're gonna be like their #1 spender. I can already see it. Alright, we're gonna do one more dab hit. And then we're on bounce. Thank you all so much for vibing. Last stream here at this place. Hopefully next place will be... I'm going to try to mess around with my camera a bit. Try to get a wider shot. Try to get more in my room. And it's going to be a whole stream room. So, yeah, with my own internet. So hopefully we won't have like any bad connections. And we'll be just plugged straight up into the modem. But yeah, thank you all so much for vibing and hanging with me today. Much appreciated, as always. Like I said, I won't be around next week. I'm moving, cleaning, getting things ready. So, wish me luck there. But I should be back by October. In October, we will begin Spooky Month. Shark, I'm just refunding you so many things. I'm sorry. I appreciate the workout routines because it, like I said, it's giving me a butt. Oh, wow, you missed it. I was talking about how now I have a butt now. Like, anytime I like make swift turns, I feel like things behind me shake. I go, what's that? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's my butt. All right, thank you. I think it's gonna be a smooth move. Nothing crazy. Oh, that was something a lot worse. Yeah. Yeah, no, I got a little rump. It's little, but it's a rump. It's a little rump, and I'm happy with it. I'm like, oh. Flame on! Yeah, that's all I joked about earlier, is it's going to set the whole place on fire. Alright. Stoned. Pretty stoned. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for hanging and vibing. Especially in this era. Look, I'm proud of my booty. And it's all because of you. All because of folks like you. You're telling me to do squats. And like I said, it's funny just because just a couple weeks ago I was just like, what's going on? My butt, my backside feels weird. Like I turn around quickly and suddenly I feel all this stuff fly around me. But yeah, thank you again, guys, for hanging, vibing. Next time we'll be back on, we'll hopefully be catching that goddamn Pokemon. Thank you again for all the support, everyone. Thank you for all the vibes, the lurks, the chills, the hangouts. Much appreciated. Hopefully it's not too long before I'm back on streaming. Till then, stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your night and weekend. Bye-bye.